In June 1964, my parents took me to the Del Mar Fair. And this has been a tradition there in San Diego since the 30s. And so it was June, it was 1964. I was 6 years old, so I don't remember a thing. But it's a day my mom and dad would never forget because this was the day that they lost my 2-year-old sister, Heather, in a crowd of 50,000 people. You ever done that, mom and dad? You ever lose your kid? That's a treat, isn't it? You lose your kid, you just turn around, they're gone. Brenda and I were in a store in Corona one time, and Scotty was there. He was a couple of years old, same age my sister Heather was at the 64 event, and he just disappeared, and we freaked out. You know that agony that you go through? I mean, there's no other word to describe it. It's just agony. And I remember that day vividly. I ran to the door. I said, I'm going to cover the exit. You look, you find our kid. It turns out he was hiding in a clothing rack. He thought it was hilarious. We were not amused. But the situation with my sister was much more serious. My dad knew in his heart of hearts that there was something profoundly wrong. He knew that this wasn't just a she's wandered off kind of thing. And they're in agony, frantic. And my dad made a beeline for the exit. And sure enough, he got within sight of the exit just in time to see a woman with my sister's hand making a beeline for the exit. She was leaving with my sister. She was going to steal her. And my dad cried out, called her name, Heather! And just as he did, she stopped and she turned, and this woman looked up and made eye contact with my dad. And my dad, to hear him tell the story, he says, we locked eyes, and the look in her eyes said, I'm busted. And she let go of my sister's hand, and she ran away. And my dad went and got my sister, and as you might imagine, just what happened, just the emotional relief in that moment. Now, I tell you this story by way of introduction to Colossians chapter 2 because the agony that my dad was going through sets up and sets the tone perfectly for the agony that Paul is going through, and it conveys this attitude.